Did you know 94% of consumers are more likely to buy from a brand with a strong identity, yet most Shopify stores look the same? Today, I'm revealing the secrets Shopify pros use to build unforgettable brands, so let's dive in. Your brand identity is not just your logo, it's the heart and soul of your business. It's what makes you memorable, trustworthy, and irresistible to customers. At a basic level, companies are just organizations of people working towards a common goal. The brand is how we know what those people believe in. In this video, I'll share with you my top tips on how you build a brand that endures the startup phase. Most Shopify stores struggle with brand identity. They either copy a competitor and just blend in, because they don't understand that a brand actually has to say something. They'll use random designs that confuse customers, maybe use some AI-generated art or logos that never connect with the brand voice or brand identity. Or they're just going to ignore branding altogether and think the product is just going to sell itself. The result? Lost sales, low customer loyalty, and a forgettable store. But it doesn't need to be this way. Here is what you're going to need to build a killer brand identity. First, you need to start with a brand persona. Who is the person who is your ideal customer? We're going to call them your hero. What do they wear? Where do they shop? What do they listen to? The better you understand who your customer is, the easier the rest of this process is going to be. Now, some people think you should be your brand hero. I'm selling to people exactly like me. But I don't totally agree with that. I find that it makes it very difficult to be objective if your identity is tied up in the brand. So if you have the choice, choose an advocate that is similar to you, but not exactly the same. Maybe think cousin or uncle, rather than a twin. Once you know who your customer is, it's time to survey the market. How many of these people exist? Is the cohort growing or shrinking? This will help you design your brand purpose and position. For example, if you are selling ski gear, you know the average age of a skier has increased to 42 years old, but the age of the group behind them, 18 to 34, is shrinking. So that means you may have less customers in 10 years because there wasn't enough interest in the younger groups when you started. Now, it might sound crazy to consider your customers 10 years before they become a customer, but you'd be wise to do it. It takes 10 years to build a successful company. Imagine you put in 10 years of work only to find out there are less customers than when you started. That would be heartbreaking. All right, once you have your brand persona and you have the research done, now it's time to build your brand purpose. What is the problem you're trying to solve? What challenges does your hero face, and how does your brand help solve that? Ask yourself, what is in it for them? And if you can, you want to find the most selfish motivator you can think of. This will give your buyer an excuse to buy your product. For example, the selfish trait, I'm special. The brand purpose, think different. Sound familiar? This lets people act selfish by buying an Apple product because they think different. After you have your brand purpose, now it's time to create your brand story. A good story needs 5 parts. It needs a hero, conflict, a journey, a climax, the overcoming adversity, and the resolution. The hero, we already went over that. It's your brand persona. To understand the conflict, it's best that we think of what challenges your hero faces. Now here's a pro tip. Like any good story, the stakes should be high. What is the hero trying to achieve? What do they want? This is your brand purpose. Of course, next comes the journey. This is where you want to show other methods that haven't worked. It's best not to leave anything to assumptions here. Again, you want to be clear, not clever. Then, following the journey, is the climax. You want to talk about how your product, and only your product, can solve your hero's problem. And finally, the resolution. This is where you highlight people like your hero. Show them that others have struggled, found your product, and completed the journey. All right, that is enough of the big heady stuff. Now let's dive into some tactical items. When picking a name, you want to pick something that supports your story. You want to be clear, not clever. You want people to hear the name and immediately start thinking of your brand story. Next up is your logo design. Keep it simple, memorable, and make sure it supports the name. If you have an athletic brand, you want something that conveys movement. Versus if you have a storage company, you want something that conveys something that's solid, dependable, unmovable. If you are itching to be clever, which I know you are, this is where you get to do it. Ultimately, you want your logo to first work in black and white. Then you can add some color. Think about consulting color psychology. Choose colors that evoke the right emotions, like blue for trust, red for urgency, that sort of thing. When you're choosing imagery, pick imagery that supports your hero. Places where they like to live or visit are good places to start. Clothing that matches their economic status, that type of thing. Lastly, let's quickly talk about a mission statement. This is your why, and it should convey your values and what makes you unique. Finally, the most important part of your entire brand is consistency. Use the same fonts, colors, and tone across your store and marketing. If you have someone do your brand for you, they're going to provide you with a brand playbook. This is something that you can share with everyone so that they know how to treat your brand. Employees, vendors, advertisers, affiliates, everyone should follow the playbook. All right, let me show you a quick example of somebody who's done this really well. One of my favorite brands is not what you would expect. It's a company here in Vancouver. It's called Bumper to Bumper Automotive. The name says they work on your car from bumper to bumper. Clear. Their logo is two bumpers facing each other, which reinforces the brand's name and story. One of the bumpers has a dent in it, which allows the logo to be the large B. Its color is red, which invokes urgency. It's simply brilliant. They hit all the marks. Here's the thing with brand. If it is done right, it mostly goes unnoticed. It's only nerds like me that look at logos from FedEx, Amazon, and understand why companies pay millions of dollars for good brand design. Spending time up front and understanding your customer before you go and create your logo pays off down the road. But let me caution you, despite what most designers tell you, rebrand is expensive and a very dangerous thing to do. You should only do a rebrand if absolutely necessary. When you rebrand, you are going to lose customers. So you better make sure that you're losing the right customers. Your brand identity is what sets you apart from everyone else. It is one of the most important things you will ever do in your company. It's what draws people to you. It's what cultivates your advocates. Yes, it's all part about looking good, but most importantly, it's a way for people to integrate your brand into their identity. I'm this kind of person because I use this brand. All I'm saying is if you're gonna do it right the first time. Your brand identity is what sets you apart from everyone else. It is one of the most important things you will do in your company. It's what draws people to you. It's what cultivates your advocates. Yes, it's part about looking good, but most importantly, it's a way for people to integrate your brand into their identity. I'm this kind of person because I use this brand. All I'm saying is if you're gonna do it right the first time. Okay, tell me, what is your biggest branding challenge? Drop it in the comments below and I'd love to help you out. And if you want more tips like this, hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to check out my other videos on e-commerce success. You can always find some free mini courses on my private school community, expertbymonday.com/community. So make sure you join and we'll catch up with you later. Let's build your brand together.